In this video, we will see the connection of the Olympic Games with Greek mythology. No, their name is not derived from Olympus, but Olympia, an ancient town still existing in Greece. Sports fans already know that the Olympic flame is lit at Olympia several months before the Olympic Games, then travels to the city that hosts the Games and continues to burn in the cauldron for the duration of the Games. Gods, goddesses, and the stories connected with them played an important role in the life of ancient Greeks. Many daily rituals and ceremonies would have been carried out in their name, and significant buildings, landmarks, and events might be ascribed to the gods. Olympia was no exception, and a number of myths are connected with how the Olympic Games started there. Many Greek gods and heroes competed in the first Games at Olympia. Zeus wrestled his father, Kronos, for the throne. Apollo outran Hermes and beat Ares at boxing. And Heracles, often credited with founding the Olympic Games, won victories in wrestling and the pancration, a no-holds-barred combat sport. Now let's see 4 different versions of myths of who started the Olympic Games and how.
Idaios Daktylos Herakles.
The oldest myth about how the Olympic Games began concerns Idaios Daktylos Herakles. The Dactylos or Dactyls were a mythical race of beings who originated in Crete. They were associated with metalworking and were said to have taught maths and the alphabet to men. According to the myth, the leader of these Dactyls, Heracles, founded the Olympic Games in the age of Kronos.
Zeus.
There are several myths connecting Zeus with the founding of the Olympic Games. This is not surprising, as the site of Olympia was dedicated to him, and one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, which was sadly destroyed, statue of Zeus was also here. Again, there is a connection with Crete, and also Kronos. After leaving his hiding place on Crete, Zeus fought against his father Kronos on this spot in the Peloponnese. After defeating him, he declared that there should be games in his honor held here every 4 years. Before we move on to the other 2 myths, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more mythology videos.
Heracles.
You might more commonly know him as Hercules now. A demigod, he performed a series of labors to atone for his sins, which were brought on by blind rage. One of those labors was to clean the stables of King Oenomaus. This might not sound a very difficult task, but the stables held thousands of animals and had not been cleaned in many years. Heracles neatly solved the problem by diverting 2 rivers, which washed away all the muck, leaving the stables like new. King Oenomaus, however, was not pleased when he discovered that Heracles was performing the task as one of his labors and refused to pay the reward. Even when his own son came to testify before a judge that the king had promised to pay the reward, King Oenomaus refused and banished both his son and Heracles from his kingdom. Heracles later returned, and with the help of Zeus, overthrew the king. He then dedicated the Olympic Games in honor of Zeus, who had helped him.
King Oenomaus and Hippodamia.
King Oenomaus lived in fear of a prophecy that said that if his daughter Hippodamia would be married, he would then be killed by his son-in-law. To prevent this from happening, he demanded that all of Hippodamia's suitors should challenge him to a chariot race. If they won, they could marry his daughter, but if they lost, they would be killed. Whilst many suitors tried their luck, what they didn't realize was King Oenomaus had an ace up his sleeve. His horses were given to him by Ares, the god of war. He could easily win every time. Later, King Pelops came to try his luck. Hippodamia fell in love with him at first sight and decided to help Pelops to win. They conspired to sabotage the king's chariot by loosening one of the bolts that attached the wheels, and then the race began. Although it was close at first, eventually the king's wheel fell off, and he was killed in the accident. This meant that Pelops and Hippodamia could be married, fulfilling the prophecy. The games were then held every 4 years in honor of his victory. Are you an Olympic Games fan? Have you ever watched the games? Which one of the 4 myths did you like the most? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next videos.